Oh my god, can you not do that? Wait a minute, where am I and who are you? Wait a second, who are all of you people? Wait, is this a prison? No way that I'm in prison right now. I mean, I get that I have not been paying my parking tickets, but come on, why would I end up in jail for that? Oh wait a second, I know this prison. This is some prison model that Doc Oswald showed me this morning. Oh well, I guess that answers that then. I mean, if it has something to do with Doc Oswald, then it is probably a fault by him. So this seems to be another one of his simulated prisons. And I am guessing that I am stuck again for the 425,654th time right now. So that is something that I'm getting rather familiar with. But that does not matter because I have never actually been inside of this exact prison. I mean, I have been stuck in multiple of Doc Oswald's prison simulations, but this is just on another level right now. So I guess that all we can do right now is just buy ourselves some time in here and hope that Doc Oswald can fix it before some actual bad stuff happens around here. Because you can say whatever you will, but there is something about Doc Oswald and his prisons. But these things have been built as a small safe haven that harbors all kind of violence in between these four walls. Okay, there are more walls, but that does not matter at all right now. But let me start correctly, like always. So here it goes from the start. Hey, what is going on, you guys? My name is your boy SubZeroExtabyte without the your boy part, because apparently my mother and father did not think that I would become cool enough to actually make that my name. But as I was saying, we are stuck in another one of Doc Oswald's simulations, and again of course we are in a freaking prison. But like I was saying in a video a couple of days ago, there have been a lot of ups and downs between me and Doc Oswald. But me and Doc Oswald go way back to kindergarten. And let me tell you that that was also the first spot where he was starting to get me into trouble, because he would be making all sorts of devices and I would have to test them for him, and it never really turned out all too good. But alright guys, let me tell you a story about how I got into these prisons in the first place. So like the first time in a simulation in like ever, and it was because of Doc Oswald, as you might be able to figure out for yourself. And I bet that you are already sitting there like, what did Dr. Oswald do this time to get you inside of this prison again? Well, it is a pretty lengthy story, but I will try to crop it down a little so that I do not bore you guys, and neither bore myself. So basically the doc, he just asked me if I was able to drop by his labs one day, and of course I am a great friend and I did just that. Well, like I said a couple of months ago, I was not going to be doing any more tests for the doctor just because he always screws things up. Well, this time, I just sat down in his little office chair. Then it just activated this chain reaction where I rolled backwards, pretty much like the dude from Futurama, and I fell into this little machine that put me into the simulation. But that was not all. I was just there because I forgot some stuff in my lockers at the doc his office. So basically, if I was not such a mess and I would have just taken all of my stuff with me when I left there the time, then I would not have this problem right now. So beware if you leave your stuff behind somewhere. I am not saying that you will actually end up inside of some shady prison simulation, but I am also not saying that this will not happen to you. I mean, things like these seem to happen to me all the time. So I guess why should it not be able to happen to you? But I would never wish anything like this to you guys, because these kind of simulations, well, they are just really annoying. And I think that most of you guys will agree with me on this fact, because you have seen me go through these kinds of simulations all the time. And you guys also know that I was actually fed up with them, since I decided to quit with these things for good. So please stick with me as I wait for the doc to actually get me out of this thing again before it actually fries my brain. But this time of course I did not end in just a simulation. Not, it was a literal simulated reality world. It was really weird to see it firsthand with my own eyes. It was just a mind-blowing experience. But that is all because I was still new to it. But after a while I actually became really good at it, and it was just all smooth sailing. Of course, until guards found out that I also lived in the prison. And that is basically when a lot of bad stuff started happening for me, which is not something that I want to touch on right now, because it is really sad for me as a person who just wants to enjoy playing Roblox with his friends. And by friends I mean on my own, because it seems like I do not have any real-life friends. But at least I have got you guys, and I would love to keep calling you my friends. So please accept that, so that we can be friends. And no, I am not trying to friend zone you guys. but of course there are some things that I just cannot get into right now. But as you know, I would have to get to know you guys a little bit better if I want to end up with one of you as my partner. Just give it some time and everything will fall into place just as always. I just feel like right now I just need some time and space to find all of the pieces of the broken mirror that I call my life. But of course that is not everything that I will have to do, because whatever I do right now will not really matter at all, since I am still stuck in this prison simulation without a word heard from Doc Oswald at all since like forever. But that is pretty much how this always goes when I am stuck. For some reason every time that I am stuck, Doc Oswald is just like, well, I am not going to be telling him anything because that is just the butt-face that I am. But of course you know, after some time of waiting he is able to figure everything out and he is just getting me back to what it usually is supposed to be. But by that I mean that it actually just takes a very long time for him to do so. But that does not matter, because after all, you are my Wonderwall. Haha, that was apart from Oasis, their Wonderwall. That is a song, by the way. For if you did not already know that, I mean it is pretty popular. Just listen to it and you will know what I am talking about. After all, because you are still my Wonderwall. But that is enough about that darned Wonderwall, because there is only one wall for me right now, and that is the prison wall that I'm trying to break out of, with a freaking good reason. Now of course you could say that my buddy Donnie J. Trump also has only one wall, but like he says, it is going to be big. But wait a second, is this guard really helping me get out of this prison? That must be kind of illegal, even for a darn simulation. But that does not matter, because I still think that it is really cute that he would want to do something like this for me after everything that we have been through. But that would mean that we still have to escape from this darned facility. So I guess that this is just some run and go, and we are about to just go ahead and hop out of this thing like it ain't a thing but a chicken wing. But what I do wonder is, that if we actually were to make it out of this prison, are we actually free again? At that point in time, I mean we are still stuck in a simulation, so I'm guessing that maybe, just maybe, that when we finally escape, that simulation just closes on itself and we end up back in Doc Oswald's tiny little lab facility. And by the way, a little note from sub to sub. Remind me to slap Doc Oswald right on the cheek for putting me through another one of these failed simulations that he likes to pull on me. But even though that would be cool and all, I am already planning on what I should do when I am done, when I am not even out yet. So let's just put the focus on getting out right now. And then when we are done with that, we can actually shift the focus to slapping Doc Oswald after we are out of this darn simulation. But really, if that little dog guard back there had not helped us out, then I would have been stuck in that prison cell for probably another eternity. Since Doc Oswald is taking his sweet time with getting us out of the simulation, again, it is not like he has actually done anything on time in like forever. So I guess that I could not be counting on it for that to happen this time around. But at least we should be out right now. But then again, it seems like the simulation is not closing, which means that I am still sitting here waiting around for Doc Oswald to finally get his stuff together and get us out of here in one piece. Because there have been some instances where I came out of the simulation with just one leg or some other missing piece of my body, which is not ideal. At least that is what I am thinking about. Oh wait a second, why am I getting shot? Are you kidding me? I was already out. So what does this mean? That I get to stay here for another like day or 3 or something like that? I am actually not that sure right now. It is just that I feel like whatever I am doing around here just does not matter for one tiny bit at all, because there is literally nothing that I can do right now. To me it just looks like everything that I am doing is just repetitive and all. I mean, I could try and escape again, but if I just end up getting killed again and spawning back in myself, then that would be kind of repetitive. I mean, there is just no such thing as doing the right thing here. It is all just repetitive, because everything that I do is just all for naught, and that is not very funny at all to me. I mean, I am trying my best here, I promise, but for some reason there is just nothing that will work for me right now. So maybe someday I can get out of this rotting prison cell and I can actually start doing something with my life again. I mean, there is nothing wrong with being inside of a prison, I guess. I mean, I am not trying to discriminate here, so there is just nothing wrong with prison people, but I am just not looking to stay here for the rest of my life in between of these 4 walls. Again, there are not 4 walls in this prison, there are a lot more, but that is just how the saying goes. Like The Walking Dead, these are just 4 walls and a roof. But there is more to this place than just a roof and a wall. Oh my god, wait, I was dreaming about walls again. I might want to stop watching all of those freaking Trump videos. The walls are getting stuck in my dreams, and it is pretty annoying. But I still have to get out of here. So please lead me to the dog guard that helped me escape the last time, and that is vital for my escape this time around. So let's go. So I don't know about you guys, but this is going to get pretty mental. I am not really sure what to expect from this, but I bet that it is going to be really hard. I have seen a couple of videos where people fought the prison guard and it looked really hard to me, but it looked like they were all lucky enough to get back to their home. So I hope that this will happen to me as well, and otherwise, you know, someone will probably have to come find me. I just hope that I do not get killed or kidnapped or something, and some creep finds me and he locks me up in his basement and he will keep me for all eternity. I am not really about all of that, so I just hope that I get straight back to my home so that my friend can literally love me. That is probably the funniest thing about all of this, the fact that I'm going to get loved. But yeah, I am hopeful that all of this will go right at the first try, and otherwise I will have no idea what will happen to me if someone finds out that I am actually inside of this prison. So let's just hope that I do not get eaten. So this is actually pretty fun for now. I mean, I would have never though that this was the way that this prison would start treating me at all. So I guess that is some kind of a learning experience now that I can actually see what is going on inside of this new world. But I mean, these prison guards are going fast and they are pretty reckless. No wonder they always lose stuff or get killed by prisoners. I mean, would you just look at this dump? We are going through this prison with 1,000,000 miles an hour. That is like 70 miles an hour over the prison cell hall speed limit. Someone should notify the authorities about these illegal hall races or illegal races to the prison wall. But then again, that is basically the same stuff. But I bet that you guys have noticed that I actually went to the North Pole a couple of weeks ago, and I saw what kind of methods those Santa's little helpers were using, and they do things way more delicate. They are not just throwing around with the me and such, because if they do not handle those prisoners really well, then they will have to answer to Santa Claus. And even though he is the nicest guy on the planet, he can still be very intimidating when you do not follow his rules. It is pretty much like the warden of this prison. I mean, he is a pretty big pain in the butt sometimes. I mean, it is not like I am in jail for real, so I probably should not be worrying about the warden, but that might be me. I mean, it is not like I could actually do anything about this right now, because all of this is just a simulation. But come on people, you cannot tell me that this is what usually happens to prisoners or other people. I mean, that was a big struggle back there, but we have to keep this up. I mean, we are close to getting out and I am about to lose it if we are not able to get out. And by the way, if anyone could start contacting that freaking Doc Oswald, because we have been in here for a long time already and I feel like he is doing nothing at all in that little lab of his. It is just like I am doing all of the bad jobs and he is just sleeping in his chair back at the labs, which is not the thing that he has been doing for a pretty long time. Please just get me out of here. Okay, but it seems like it is getting pretty hot in here. I mean, there are a lot of cops chasing us and that dog guard is probably going to be losing his simulated job after all of this is done. Or maybe he does still lose his job, and he can just escape with me and we can go out and celebrate the rest of our lives together. So let us just see this as the first day of the rest of our lives. Oh no, you have got to be kidding me. They shot dog guard, and to think that we wanted to spend our lives together, and we can start a new simulation somewhere in the distance where no one will find us and no one will be able to recognize us as the people we are. I mean, that must be quite hard, because he is a dog and a guard, so people are going to recognize him for sure. But I mean, there is still something about all of this. The fact that people are also going to be recognizing me is pretty bad. But that was it for today people. I will just wait here until the doc will get me out again. See you tomorrow.